All right, welcome back to Live What You Love. Today we're going to be going over my new release. As you can see, I got the Stan Onnex. I'm very excited about this. I have shot it before, but I just want to show you how it comes in box. So when you open it up, you just have the release in there and you got two spare bags, right? So let's take the release out. This is what it looks like. Feels very, very ergonomic, very comfortable in the hand. We will get to all the features here in a second. Let me show you what comes in the two bags. So in one bag, you have a 4-finger attachment. So this black part on the end of the release, right now it's a 3-finger and you can just kind of rest your pinky on this outside portion. But there's also a 4-finger if you really want to dig in with that pinky and feel like you have 4 fingers as support. You can switch these out very, very easily. I'll show you how to do that. Or I'll show you the screw to loosen so that you can access that here in a second. Now the second bag, let's see what's in here. So, okay, we'll just go through them one at a time. One of the things is a little silver piece. This is a lock. I think when it comes out of box, it comes directly in your barrel. It'll be screwed in right here, right? Now, what is the function of this piece? It's actually a safety lock. So you can unscrew that at any point. And then if you cock your release, and then you'll see right where the hook is, right below that, there's like an empty hole. You can see that right there. That's right where this goes in. So you can put that in and screw it in. And now what that's going to do is prohibit you from firing the device. You can still click it, but the hook will not be able to undo as long as that silver pin is in there, because it won't be able to rotate around and release. So the reasoning behind that is 1, safety, and 2 is training. So once you put that silver piece in, if you just want to load your release, which is with this black button here, so it's loaded right now, it's cocked, and then you want to feel the different levels of tension. So you put tension to fire. You're going to put pressure on this barrel. This part's called the barrel, this cylindrical portion, and the rod will then rotate, causing the firing mechanism to release. So you'll hear it here. You hear that click. But if I go up here and I try to raise this hook up, it is still loaded. So it's great for training purposes because you can just put that pin in there, jack with your tension and your stroke length for your release, and then try out different things, even with a loaded arrow or inside your house or whatever. You don't have to go to the range, and you don't have to worry about it, that hook coming loose, as long as your safety pin's in there. So it lets you kind of play around with those things. So pretty cool feature. Let's see what else is in the bag. So as we go through, I'm just going to load these back in there. It comes with a 5/64 Allen wrench. I actually really like this. I had a 5/64 Allen. I mean, I have multiple, but a lot of mine, the ends are not super crisp. So a lot of times I worry about using the Allen key and then having it strip out the hole or something like that. This one is very, very crisp on the edges. And almost everything adjustability wise on this release is a 5/64 Allen. So it's great that they give you this. That's an awesome addition. Now, what is this? So it comes with 2 barrels, like we said. That's the part that your thumb is going to rest on the release in order to make the thing fire, right? So your thumb goes there, you apply tension, boom, it releases. I like the thicker barrel rather in contrast to the thinner one. It just feels more comfortable. I feel like I get more surface coverage. So there's a little bit more friction. That's why I like the larger one, okay? So just choose whichever barrel you want. And as we go through, we're gonna do close-ups later and I'll show you all the screws for adjustability wise. So I'll show you the screw that you can access to switch out those barrels here in just a second. Now, this is another rod. So if you remember, we said that the barrel of this is attached to the rod that's here, and that's fixed into place by these 2 screws here. Now I'll show you a close-up of that here in a sec. But if you have longer hands, so my fingers are thin, but my hands are still very long. So if you do kind of have longer hands, you're gonna wanna use the longer rod just to place this barrel a little farther out so that it'll feel more comfortable in your hand. I felt like I was overly kind of crunched up when I was using the smaller rod, so awesome that they provide two so that you can really customize it for your own benefit, right? Boom. Love that. Now, let's go through the close-up. The safety pin goes right there where my thumb is. Now, if you're holding it and you see where the barrel is, where your thumb would kind of come and touch the top, that's gonna be very, very close to your tension screw. So that screw you can twist clockwise or counterclockwise with your 5/64 Allen in order to cause more force or less force to have to be applied to your barrel and to your rod to make the system fire. Now, if you look at, so if I'm holding it like this and I twist it, and then I look at the top portion right there, you see right under the letter S, there's another adjustment screw. That again is a 5/64. That's going to affect the travel. So if I cock this, you can see mine barely has any travel. Like it goes off as soon as it starts moving. And that's how I like it. So you adjust the travel with that screw. You can back it all the way out, or you can tighten it all the way down. Just do whatever you want that feels comfortable. Try it both ways, see what you like best. Now, if you look how the barrel is attached, so if you remember one of these, the top one, the top on here is where the safety pin goes. And then this lower down one is actually how you affix the rod and your barrel together. So you can take this piece out and switch out your barrel. There's another little internal silver piece that you'll want to transfer from one barrel to the other. It doesn't come with one already preset in the barrel. So if you do want to switch your barrels, make sure you get that little silver piece it's underneath this little Allen right there. So it's going to run right here and it'll apply tension to your rod inside your barrel, and that's what locks it into place. If you see these two here, that's how you set the pitch of your rod, and I guess also it would carry through. I like it right there. I tried it all the way forwards and it felt weird. It felt like my thumb was like too close. So I like it kind of in the middle somewhere. Try different things out. Just loosen that one, and you can switch it. I would try it all the way forwards, all the way back, see where you like it, find a happy medium. Now, obviously this is the clicker that loads it. I showed you guys that. You can see when it's up, it's not cocked. I can open this hook. You see that? And then if I cock it, the hook is then locked into place. And if I fire, you can see this raises up, and now I can release that again. Okay. If you look at this bottom portion of this, the black part, this is the 3-finger attachment. There's also a 4-finger, which is in the bag. I like running the 3-finger, but it's very, very easy to switch out. You can just loosen up that screw, and that's the only one. You'll just loosen that, back it all the way out, take this piece out, put this one in, tighten it down. So you're good to go. That's very, very easy. Anything that we're missing? Let's see, we covered that. We covered the adjustability here. When you back this out, you can also adjust the pitch of your 3 or 4 finger, just to make sure we covered that. We covered the tension screw, so clockwise, counterclockwise, that controls the amount of force to move your barrel and rod in order to make the firing mechanism go off. The one right under the letter S, that's gonna control your stroke length, so the amount or the distance that you have to travel before it fires. So mine is very, very small, which I like. A lot of people like it that way. And then that, again, is safety. So highly, highly adjustable release. Very, very comfortable in hand. Feels really good. I personally like to shoot and have the barrel kind of at the base of my thumb. I feel like I shoot the best like that. If I have it up like this, some people like that. I hate that. There were a few things that I wanted to make sure were possible. I've always worn an index release, which means even if I'm not holding it, it's not gonna go anywhere. It'll kind of flap around or whatever, but I was always very hesitant to jump into a thumb button, a hinge, other types, because I wanted to make sure that it wouldn't get lost or anything like that. One of the things that I really love about this release is that it has double hooks, right? So only one of them kind of locks into place when you cock it. But when you cock it, you can bend this one back, put it right on your string. Let me show you. Okay, so I always like to think about hunting when I'm considering a potential release. A hinge, I was weary about that. I know some people hunt with them and that's great, but personal preference wise, I knew that hinge was out for me. I want to be able to control that shot. I don't want a surprise break when I'm hunting. And you can kind of get a surprise break with thumb. I know that's going to be controversial. Drop in the comments. It's whatever. You do you, I'll do me. So one of the coolest things about this is that you can cock it. And like I said, I was worried about potentially losing it. But if you put it right on your D-loop, it'll just hang there. And because it's cocked, it can't go anywhere. Like, that is fantastic, you know? And if it's cocked, that rattling was not the release. Look, you can sit there and rattle it, no noise at all. I've seen other releases that when you shake them, especially a lot of those hinges, they make a crazy amount of noise, and I hated that. So one of my main considerations was I wanted to be able to put it on my bow, and I wanted it to stay there. That way, if I'm up in a tree stand or ground blind, whatever, and I've got my bow sitting on a stand or hanging, I know that when I'm ready to take that shot, all I have to do is grab my bow and my release is right there, ready for me to draw back. Okay, little side note here. As a guy who likes to shoot his bow a lot, I did not want to spend high dollar on a release and then have it wear out because the internal components aren't made with a very high quality steel. So, what is this release made out of? The internal components. It's made out of 440C, which is a type of stainless steel, which when it comes to durability is top of the line. So, what does that mean overall? It means that you're spending high dollar on something that not only looks great on the outside, but also has internal parts that you can trust and that you know are gonna last a long time. It's not like the makers of Stand had you pay high dollar, put a pretty outside coating on it, and then put crap on the inside so that it would wear out and you would have to buy another one very soon. They're using top of the line steel, that 440C, that stainless, so that you know you can rely on this release for years to come. That mattered to me. And it kind of establishes more trust with the brand. A lot of companies will just try to get your money, put a nice coating on the outside, and have you just come in, replace. Stand's not that way. I like that. If I were watching a review on a release, I would want to see it shoot a few times. So I know that it's going to vary from shooter to shooter or from individual. It's not like you pick up this release and you become really great at shooting, but I'm going to do a couple shots just to show you it gets a really clean break and the consistency is unreal. Hopefully I can shoot decent for you. All right, middle of the cross. Okay. Now if you hit that dead spot, there's a dead spot right in the middle. It makes it look like you hit kind of left, but it's just because the knock of the arrow moved left afterwards. I'm pretty sure that was like right in the middle. Yep. There's no travel. That's what I like about it. It's almost like you can think fire and the thing goes off. It's so great. That's right in there too. Okay, let's see if we can do one more without breaking an arrow. I really hate shooting the same spot because I lose a lot of knocks. This is actually from right before I made this video. Knocked this one, and if you can see, I blew that knock right off the back, cracked the shaft of the arrow about 3 inches down. So hopefully we don't do that again. But I will shoot one more just for y'all. All right, right in the middle of all of them. I'm gonna try to anchor right here, and I'll be as close to the camera as I can so that you can see the travel on that trigger, which is like non-existent. Okay, get set. It's just mild tension. Just a little bit, and then poof. I love it. Okay, so all in all, the stand releases are roughly $300. If you would like to get probably the nicest release that I've ever come across, consider getting one for yourself. It really helped with my consistency. It just makes it's just such a cleaner break. I always thought index releases were kind of my thing. I have been wrong for a very long time. The Thumb Button stand Onnex, best release I have ever shot, and I highly recommend it to any one of you, especially if you're pretty serious about your archery game and you're willing to spend a little bit of that higher dollar amount. But that's all I got for you today. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully it was informative. Stay tuned, we got more coming, and always remember, live what you love.